Okay, so hello and welcome everyone. In this video, we're going to be talking about the MIET 312 surface mining course syllabus. I have both sections in here, 1 and 2. One is web enhanced in person, and the other is fully online. Both courses are going to be the same syllabus, same material, all that. If you are in class, we meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1 to 2:30 p.m. And my contact information is in the next box. Dr. Morgan Sears, that's me, with my email, phone number, and scheduled office hours. I schedule my office hours so that we can get some evening, some midday, and some morning. Some are virtual, some are not. So there's a bit of variety available. Also, it's literally closed right now, but typically I would have an open door policy. If anybody needed to come and talk to me or call or email, whatever is most appropriate or effective, I'm available for that at any time that I'm not, teaching class or in a meeting. The course itself is going to be a study of surface mining materials, mine planning and design, excavation, blasting, haulage, basically every aspect, start to finish, through impoundment, mine closure, reclamation of a surface mine, right? Prerequisites for the course and co-requisites are listed here. We can go over that if anyone needs to. And then the syllabus moves into institutional learning outcomes. So these learning outcomes, these are basically just things the university thinks you ought to know or be able to do when you graduate. And these were developed by the university. All these are in here. And I think they're pretty important. Okay. Me, on the other hand, I had to come up with the program learning outcomes. So for the mining engineering technology program, I developed these based on the institution's learning outcomes, as well as what ABET might expect from a program in engineering. So I came up with all these, applying technical knowledge is number one, utilizing modern tools and technology, communication skills is big. My communication skills have not always been perfect. They've actually not the greatest, but I've spent a long time in the past 20 years or so getting better at that, more practice. I've even read research into storytelling and telling story arcs and that sort of thing. And it's helpful, I think, but it's important. Safety regulations, environmental standards, ethical responsibilities are all important in mining, especially in the modern era. Economics, project management, leadership. We're going to need to be able to do all those things. And then, of course, participate in ongoing professional development. Whether you're preparing for certification exams, engagement with industry, or SME and MSHA, that sort of thing. One major outcome of this program is I want the students to be able to pass the PE exam, right? The state of West Virginia has decoupled the exam from the experience requirements. So you can now take the exam immediately after you pass your FE exam. And I want my students ready to do that. Okay. And then for the course learning outcomes, those are really just specific to the surface mining course, right? So we're talking about major surface mining equipment. Can you identify them, compare them, different mining methods, the function of surface mining equipment, and how you select them and that sort of thing. Performing basic, regarding drilling and blasting. It's important to be able to do those. And of course, we'll be setting those up so that, some of these, will be exactly like what's going to be on the PE exam. So you'll be hopefully prepared for that. The required textbook, I did select one. I know it's a little late. I don't know if the bookstore got a hold of it or not. I did email them. But Mining Engineering Analysis, second edition by Dr. Christopher Bice. May he rest in peace. He was the chair of the mining department at WVU after Sid Ping retired. And so I worked, I was in the department when he was there, and it's a good book. I chose it for a couple of reasons. One, it's got a lot of like analysis in it. I mean, that's in the title, right? But it's very like a hands-on and practical. It's a very practical book for mining engineering. So I chose it. It's also kind of newer, right? I think this was published in 2003. There's another surface mining textbook out there, but Surface Mining Second Edition. It's also available from SME. It's pretty cheap. You can get it if you want. I have a copy of it. I think it's like $39. The students get a discount, right? So if you're a student member, you get a discount on books. So yeah, it's out there. We might use some stuff from it. You may want it as a reference in the future. The principles kind of remain the same, right? And it's just getting a bit dated. So, and, that's the book we're going to use, and it will also be used in the 392 underground mining course as well. So 2 books, 1 course. That's not too bad. The academic grading scale is standardized, 60 to 100. Incompletes, the information about that is given here. But let's hope everyone stays safe and stays healthy, and we don't have to deal with that, I hope. As far as grades for the course, okay, quizzes and discussions will be had weekly, except for weeks when there is an exam, and except for the first week. Right, so nothing on the only thing on the first week is a discussion post asking you to introduce yourself. It is worth some 5 bonus points, so it'll be bonus. Nothing week 1 except that. Quizzes and discussions, both are very sort of important. The way I see quizzes are is a means of reinforcement, right? And understanding that my material is enough and being presented well enough to answer those questions and that sort of thing. So that's kind of how I see those. Discussions are important. You never know. They're very important for just being able to bounce ideas off of another person or another someone who's had different experiences than you may have, right? So it's kind of interesting to see that discussions end up being kind of important. We're also going to do a project. I've done it in parts 1 and part 2. That would be like a first half and a second half of the semester, sort of time to work on the project and that sort of thing. And I've tried to line it up so that it's not interfering with studying for midterms or that sort of thing, right? I've tried to line it up that way. And then finally, midterm and final exams, and then 3% bonus. We can revisit that 3% bonus in the future if we need to. But I hope the way I have this laid out, where everything is equally weighted, 20% for everything, okay? That, that way if, say, like, for example, you're not very good at taking exams, right? Like, it's just difficult for you. Or a different aspect of the course that you can do poorly in 1 or 2 aspects of the course and still have a reasonable grade. It's like it's one of those things where, like, I remember in undergrad a lot the way they did the weighting was that by the time you got to the end of everything, it was 50% your final grade or whatever. I don't remember, your final exam, and then whatever you got on the final just basically was whatever you got in the course. And I hated that. I really, I did okay with it. But there are people that didn't, and could it have just been because, well, they're not really good at tests? And yeah, it could be, So I want to, rate your knowledge over a broad spectrum of things that you're going to need to be able to do, right? And then as far as like, having too many exams, I only picked 2 because if you put in like 4 or more. Then you got students that are doing like a whole lot of memorizing and stuff and that sort of thing, and that's not really the point of an engineering education. Now, there are certain things, you should have memorized, and you will, because you'll use them so much over time, But does it need to be done for an exam? No, I would rather you prove to me that you are capable of independent, critical thought, and that you can find the information you need to solve these problems, right? That it's less about memorization, more about memorizing where to look, right? So that's kind of why I've done the grades the way I have. And then, of course, we can go through the the weekly calendar. I'm not going to go through every single week, but like I said, you'll notice quiz and discussion weekly, except for exams. And then I put a couple weeks before the exams, like these sort of like projects that are sort of, and you can be working on these kind of as you go to get to this point. You see what I mean? And then before the exam, it'll be there. And then same here with project part 2. Also, a field trip report. I put it at the end because I don't know exactly when we're going to go on a field trip, right? So it's there for now. But it's that. And then, of course, curriculum mapping. Basically, this just shows you where the course learning outcomes that I created and what weeks of the course correspond to those, okay? Now, the syllabus and outline are subject to change. This has been thrown together pretty last minute, right? I've been employed for a week, so this is where we're at. So with that, there's also a link at the bottom. You can get a lot of the statements and so justice statements and that sort of thing that are included with the syllabus. There at the link at the bottom. So with that, welcome to MIET 312 surface mining, and look forward to getting started.